Volunteers are working to gather the number of people experiencing homelessness in northeast Wisconsin.
Preliminary numbers from last night's point in time count showing 53 people found sleeping in vehicles or on benches in Brown County, 2 dozen more in the Fox Valley region. Now, this one-night survey attempts to track the homeless population. They'll conduct another survey in July. Volunteers will work closely with partners across the Fox cities to identify people who they did not reach during the initial survey and those frigid temps last night. The data collected will be used for the annual homelessness assessment report reported to Congress and the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development.
If the populations, there's a big discrepancy, hopefully we get funding to support our resources and our agencies and our programming that work to help people that are homeless.
Experts say the rising cost of living is making it harder for many to find and afford housing, contributing to an increase in homelessness. More volunteers are needed for the next count coming up in July or to help with packages and shelters.